Okay, do you see many clients who are traveling in a similar path to the one that you experienced leading to your life as it is now?
I do see quite a few clients that do that. I've had over the years, there've been many clients that I've helped, get their careers off and running in some way. Whether I've supported them with opportunity, whether I've helped give them lead them to the belief in themselves that they're capable of doing that. Um, so that's one way. Um, the other way is, experiencing the same life challenges that we have. Whether it's incorporating our beliefs and our understanding in life in a marriage that has a partner that doesn't necessarily have the same beliefs. I share those sort of experiences, whether it's parenting children. So there's often that sort of stuff that I do see. I think we're all the same. I think we all experience very similar life lessons and experiences. We just sometimes have different circumstances and we respond to them differently.
That's very interesting and very true, I think, in the way that most people in traveling a spiritual path and helping other people seem to you often attract people who are quite similar to you, and it's partly so that you can help them, and also so that you can learn from them, from actually seeing the situation from the outside rather than being stuck inside it.
Yeah, and ultimately there is that universal law that like attracts like, and whether it's because you have similarities or whether it's because there are differences and those differences are there to help you learn about yourself. Um, it's very true, and that comes across in any client or any business. There is always that connection there in some way.
And what advice would you give to other people that are currently experiencing significant life-changing trauma?
Firstly, I would really say to take the time to try and breathe. Um, to try and do that, and as difficult as that can be. So if it just means that you've got to help yourself with some lavender oil to sleep, or you've got to take a walk and take some time out from the situation, then try to do that. I'd say reach out for support. You know, um, don't try and have the mentality that you've got to be strong for everyone, and um, that you've got to do this on your own. It's okay to turn around and say to someone that cares for you that, hey, I need your help. Um, I think try know that in time that you will get through it, that right now it's really, really difficult. Um, but in time, the one thing we do know is things are constantly changing and constantly evolving. And it's okay to feel how you're feeling. No one can say whether your feelings are right or wrong. So just acknowledge and validate that yourself. Um, no one should judge you of how you're reacting or experiencing, because how you feel is how you feel, and that's okay. Um, so yeah, they would be my advice for people that's going through trauma is mainly to just honour your feelings and to reach out for support.
That's for sure. That's good advice, I think. Okay, how influential has the input of your clients been in your development, not only as a medium, but also as a person?
Oh, extremely. Extremely influential, because I am someone that if I'm looking at being um, challenged or something not going so right for me, the first thing I look at is myself and how I am dealing with that situation, how I'm responding to it, what am I contributing to it, and am I bringing positivity, negativity? Am I bringing understanding? Am I my buttons being pushed, so therefore I'm reacting in ways that I shouldn't, as in, is my ego getting the better of me? I'm constantly in a place of looking at myself from that perspective. And over the years, as those things have happened, that has meant, as my clients have I've had those interactions that meant I've changed as a person, because there's been some of those aspects that I haven't liked about myself and I've wanted to change. So, opening the college initially, I look back and go, how naive was I in a lot of aspects about dealing with people on that level. And I have changed as a person, and therefore as a medium, because of my interactions with my clients. So they've been hugely influential in that way, and a lot of them have given me a gift, whether they realise it or not, because of that.
I once spoke to someone years ago who had foster children, and it was a couple, and they had had a lot of foster children go through. And I'll never forget them saying to me, every child is a gift, some when they arrive and some when they leave. Because every child came with a lesson, whether it was a particularly fun one to learn or not. And I think that in our business, we get a bit of that too. It's like you can have those people that are quite challenging to deal with, and you can have other people that are a joy to deal with, but each one brings their own, little lesson for you, and you're changed by having met them.
Oh, definitely. And it's also, like, it's important to look at if those challenges are repeating patterns and they're happening, the same sort of thing, but just in a different way, then, that speaks more about you than it actually does about them. So it's important to be looking at yourself and going, well, I have to keep putting up with this. And why is that? What is it about me
Yeah.
that keeps attracting it?
That's for sure, or the way that you're responding to them, or whatever. And having said that, how would you describe yourself as a person?
Certainly, I think I'm very positive minded. Like, am someone that likes to see the best in each situation, and is always looking for the gift, and likes to see the good in everyone, and trying to always keep a positive mindset. Um, I would say I'm compassionate. I would say I'm very understanding, and not very judgmental. Certainly we're all human. There are times that might come out, but I'm very quick to pull myself up um, and know that I'm doing that. So there's a lot of compassion that comes across in the work and in my life, and understanding. But I'd also say that tend to be more analytical than what I should be. I'm often in my head a little bit too much, and I'm determined. Like, I'm, some would say ambitious, and I don't necessarily apologise for that, because I know it's my drive that helps me achieve some of the things that I have. So very determined.
And I feel that you have to have that to survive in any kind of industry, but also in life generally. You've got to have that determination to pick yourself up and keep going. Um, and I feel that your comment about being analytical, well, some of that possibly comes from being a woman, because I feel that we tend to analyze things. Men will be much more likely to take things on face value, and not go into the nitty gritty of it. Whereas a woman, something can be presented to a woman in a particular way, and the woman will still be thinking, what is at the bottom of that? They don't just take things at face value. But I feel as though in this industry, sometimes that's a really positive thing, sometimes not so much, but I don't think that it's necessarily a negative, as long as you can keep a track of it. And if you know that that's what you're doing, then it's easy enough to pull yourself up a little bit when you're doing that.